What's up, everybody? Welcome to Among the Fence, my YouTube channel where I do music reviews. My name is Aaron, and if it's your first time joining us, I'd like to welcome you to my channel where we just chill and talk about music and all the things that we love or hate. And if you enjoy this video, please don't forget to give it a like. It helps out so much with YouTube's algorithm. It goes so much further than you can ever imagine. Also, if you don't want to miss out on any of my future videos, where I also do a New Music Friday where I talk about new metal music and stuff that's coming out for that week, don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell icon. That way you get notifications. But moving on now, we are going to be talking about the new album Through Shadows by Born of Osiris. This is the 7th studio album from the progressive metalcore band, following the fantastic, the beautiful LP Angel or Alien. I like most of their albums for the most part, I would say, but I haven't really loved anything since Tomorrow We Die Alive came out, which was 2013, I believe. So it's been like 12 years since I've really loved anything that this band has done. Then they blessed us with Angel or Alien in 2021. Easily one of my most listened to metalcore albums since then. In fact, the closing track, Shadowmourn, is one of my favorite songs of all time. The lyrics in it are fantastic. Saxophone is beautiful, especially their live music video thing that they did during their tour. It just makes it so emotional. 2 years later, they announced a new album and released a single called Torch Bearer, which is about igniting the torch within yourself to help you face life's difficulties and help you to push through. The verses are, not gonna lie, they're hella stompy, and the melodies are super addictive. The vocals are just a little too produced for my personal taste compared to their last albums. I mean, that's always something that's kind of there for Born of Osiris, but in this, you could just feel it a little bit more, but at the same time, the distorted vocals sound so freaking good. And this made me, and I would assume a lot of fans, at least the people on Reddit, very excited for this upcoming album. And they kept the hype going when they dropped their next single, A Mind Short Circuiting. The gentiness takes over quite a bit, and it also it has like a throwback feel. It reminds me a lot of their earlier work. The bass is very loud and very clear in this song. The drums are powerful within the mix, and it just sounds so good. Like I said, it reminds me of something older, but at the same time it still feels pretty fresh. The tempo changes keep you on your toes, but again, the vocal effects, they're not really my favorite. At this point, on the second single, I was kind of not really feeling the vocal effect quite as much. It's not my favorite kind of sound, especially in the chorus that has like cleanish vocals, but I did enjoy those. The clean vocals remind me a lot of Jonathan Davis from Korn. That like yell that they do, oh, it just sounds so good. Next time you listen to the song, just think of Korn and Jonathan Davis, and it's just right there, and it sounds so good. And then around this point in the single releasing, album announcing timeline, we got some pretty sad, heartbreaking news. Vocalist / keyboardist Joe Burris announced that he would be departing the band. He is honestly one of the main reasons why I enjoy this band so much. His performance on Shadowmourn specifically is just so tangible. It's so, I could just listen to it over and over again. Plus his vocals sound good. The music he brings to the table is fantastic. And then a month later, they released the third single, Elevate, which is about separating yourself from negativity in pursuit of positivity, which I do I do actually like that kind of theme, because a lot of times we separate ourselves from the negativity, but we don't really replace it with anything. So it's very easy to fall back into negative habits and ways when you don't replace them with positive. But anyways, now the synth stands out quite a lot. It takes me back to the Tomorrow We Die Alive days. It sounds really good. The guitar melodies, to me though, they don't really stand out too much. I want them to be a little bit more present. They sound good in the post-chorus, but that's pretty much it. It's almost just, it just makes it feel a little too unoriginal, because I feel like the synth is too heavy in the chorus. I want a little bit more of that Born of Osiris, that Lee just shreddy guitar stuff in the chorus, especially in a song like this. But if we jump back around to the opening track, Seppuku, which is known as a method of self disembowelment, which is an honorable way for a samurai to face death in during a battle, I guess, instead of being killed by the enemy, which is kind of weird because a lot of other cultures and stuff are like, I'd rather die fighting, where Samurai is like, you're not worthy to actually kill me. I'll do it myself, which I think is pretty badass. The verses in the song are super sick. I love the energy that they bring, but it kind of falls apart in the chorus, which after the singles going to the opening track, it kind of feels like it's going to be a theme for this album. The riff in verse 2 is fantastic. It made me smile due to that signature Born of Osiris sound that I was talking about. And it's just, we need more of that, specifically in the chorus, because their choruses are fantastic. And then the next song we have is the title track. The Genty riff and the synth sound phenomenal in the verses. The synth in the pre-chorus reminds me a lot of the chorus off of Machine, which is also just one of the best songs that they've ever written. And the chorus, not so great. Once again, the clean vocals and the wall of sound that they use in the chorus just makes it feel very generic and very just flavorless, I guess you could say. The hook isn't really there. The lyrics and the melody aren't catchy. It ruins an otherwise really good song, I feel like. Then we have The War That You Are, which honestly, it kind of brings it back around again. The heaviness in the verses makes you want to headbang, and the chorus, to me, it's better, but just barely, I would say. It does also help that the bridge in this song is one of the best moments on this entire album. It's got a throwback feel, and it brings a little bit of that deathcore sound that this band used to have that honestly made me fall in love with them. Then we have Inverno. It's a kind of a weird song, honestly. It just does whatever it wants, and I really enjoy it. I enjoy just the freedom that this song brings. The lighthearted kind of mini solo after the chorus was completely unexpected. This will, I believe, be a pretty strong fan favorite in a live setting, as it brings a lot of energy as well. The more I listen to this song, the better it gets, because there's just so much going on, so many twists and turns, and to me, it's easily one of the best songs on this album. I don't know if it's as good as any of the songs off of Alien or Angel, but I would say it's definitely up there. And then we have the instrument, Burning Light, which separates the first half from the second half of the album, and then it goes directly into the song In Desolation, which has a really groovy verse. It brings the energy back up again, thank goodness. The chorus, again, though, is very just generic metalcore at this point. It sounds good, but it's very forgettable. It doesn't really bring anything special besides the breakdown in the song, but the chorus, it just doesn't inspire anything. It kind of makes you feel like they're just doing the same thing over and over and over again. And it's kind of sad, because going into the back half of the album, at least for me, I had my hopes pretty high, and it just didn't deliver, at least not starting out. And then we have The Gem, Activated, which features Spencer from Under Oath, which I swear he is a feature on every single album. It's like he makes his career now being a feature for other bands. It's like that's just his thing. He's like a hoary vocalist that just goes out and just does stuff with other, yeah. But honestly, I love this song. The songwriting in it is so good. And while the chorus has cleans and is a little generic, it's just so, like, the melody is beautiful, and Spencer's vocals are beautiful, and just the overall music just feels so light and open, and it's different from what Born of Osiris does, but at the same time it's different from what everybody else is doing. That's the problem. Everybody's like, oh, they're just evolving, but at the same time, what are they evolving into? What everybody else is? At least with this song, there's something a little bit different. Not to mention the saxophone that pops up in the bridge. That's something that they normally do, but you forgot about it this far into the album that it even exists. So it's a nice little treat at that point too. It's very different from what you're expecting, especially going in the back half. Like I said, it kind of feels a little disappointing, like it's not going to get better. And then you hit this song, which is just so good. It makes you want to go back and listen to it multiple times. And in fact, I did. After my review, this was the only song I went back to and just had to hear just at least one more time. And then we have Dark Fable, which keeps that atmosphere going with a colorful melody. It sounds fantastic. Again, the overall just vibe of this song is very carefree, which works really well alongside the distorted vocals in the chorus. The outro feels pretty dark, and it connects itself to some of the earlier tracks, which I enjoyed quite a bit. Then we have Transcendence, which is probably the most Born of Osiris sounding song on this album. The quick pre-chorus, or actually I think it's the verse, is very aggressive, and the blast beats and the squeals in the pre-chorus are actually pretty sick. The chorus has a really nice lead guitar part, which I feel like has been missing from most of the songs on this. Like there are lead guitar parts in this album that stick out, but I mean, Lee doesn't really do anything all that flat. He doesn't stand out all that much, which I know a lot of people give him hate for. I don't even care why, but honestly, like, I enjoy his guitar playing so much. I enjoy that kind of robotic, lasery kind of sound that he brings to the table, especially for this band. And I feel like it wasn't really there on this album either. And I just want it, more, and it sucks that we have to wait till basically the end of the album to get it. And this brings us to Blackwater, which is the closing track. It builds up in the intro, super suspenseful, kind of epic, dare I say, which is also nice. It's something that Born of Osiris used to do, and they kind of didn't really do that on this album. I like that they prioritized the clean vocals in the chorus quite a bit, at least in the beginning of this song, which is a nice change, something that sounded really good. And then when the distorted vocals come in with that female vocalization behind it, oh, it is just, it's a treat, that's for sure. It changes things up quite a bit. They stick to their own sound, but just adding that in was so good. It would have been so much cooler. You don't want to overdo it if they would have had female vocalization in there a little bit more and changed things up a little bit more on this, like they did on this song. It would have worked out really well. And because of that, it's a great closer, but at the same time, it makes you realize that this album could have been better if they followed this formula a little bit more, at least to me. I do want to say that this is a decent follow-up record to Angel or Alien. That is a hard record to, it's a hard one to follow, not gonna lie. It's a great record, and considering their lineup changes and different stuff going on within the band at the same time, they got Lee leaving, Joe's leaving, and I know that they were on this album for the most part, but just the fact that, you know, they're kind of separating, they're not really feeling it anymore, it is going to cause some different creative, maybe not differences, but maybe they're just not feeling it anymore, which I feel like it shows on this. I feel like their desire to make music within Born of Osiris at this point has just kind of died down. And it might be a good thing for them to bring someone else new. I know Joe said that he wanted to pursue just different career stuff and creative outlets, and Lee is concentrating on doing his thing with Tillian, which I know a lot of people don't like Tillian, but I'm very excited about that as well. I think that's a match made in heaven. But anyways, I gotta say that it doesn't follow it up that well, because the choruses on majority of these songs just aren't that good. They have a huge focus on the choruses, and they fall flat. Where in the past, Born of Osiris is more of a focus on their technicality and just the crazy sounds that they bring, like the lasery kind of stuff. And that took a backseat, and they didn't really make up for it all that much. I gotta say, the verses have some kind of stompy rhythm, but honestly, they all sound pretty much the same in terms of that sense. There isn't really too many different sounds going on, so it almost sounds like the same verse every single time the song starts. Every single time you hear the same verse. Verse 2 sounds different, but every time the song starts, you hit that verse, same kind of stompy rhythm. A few times they do things right, 2 or 3 songs here, mostly in the last half of the album. They do it brilliantly, but it just doesn't happen that often. With all that said, I gotta give Through Shadows by Born of Osiris a 6.5 out of 10. And that scoring hurts me a lot because I love this band, but I want to know what you guys think. Leave a comment below letting me know what you thought of Through Shadows. Let me know what you rate it, what your favorite songs are, and also don't forget to give this review a like. It helps me out so much, like I said before, with YouTube's algorithm. It'll keep my videos popping up in your recommended section. And if you don't want to miss out on any future reviews or New Music Friday, if you want to keep up to date on the new music coming out, please don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell icon. And I just want to thank you guys so much for taking time out of your day to listen to me talk about music. I hope you have a good rest of your day or night, whenever you happen to be watching this, and I will talk to you guys next time.